And we're recording. Hello, everyone. New face. What's your name? Emma. I'm Jason. I'm the head brewer. We do these from time to time. We haven't done one in a while. I was gone for a little bit and busy before that, but now we're back at it. We have a bunch to get through, so we'll just start like chipping away at them over the next week or so. Okay. I'm really curious because this one's been on for a little bit, for a while already, so there's probably some feedback out there already. Stoked to get that. Let's just kind of go through the basics first. You might have already had a chance to taste this, so let's just kind of like do the usual, sniff it, taste it, and let's talk about what we're getting.
Which one is this?
Oh, yeah, that would help. This is the brown butter sage Saison. So very culinary forward beer. Lot going on in the glass here.
I love saisons.
Nice.
They're like peppery. They're always a little bit peppery.
True. Yeah.
For sure. And like I think that's really coming through in this too. And the pepperiness comes from something called phenolics, which is uh, and it's like a byproduct of the yeast that we use to make saisons. And then the yeast that we use to make these saisons is actually the same yeast that we're using to make our other Belgians. So like Cedar Canoe, Friend of the Devil. And what we do is we ferment them at a different temperature in order to bring out the phenolics, which is that peppery taste, over the esters, which is kind of like the banana or like almost bubble gum that you get in some of the Belgians. So yeah, so there's a lot here. What else are you guys getting? I mean, I hope someone says sage at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Very smooth. In like what way? Like expand on that. Buttery like. Okay, yeah, for sure. Well, there's the butter part of it. So great. So we're hitting it on all cylinders, and then the brown part is kind of the color. Um, yeah, I mean those are all kind of the same things that I'm getting. I'm getting a little bit of astringency and dryness in the finish, um, and kind of that like butteriness I feel like is in the body of the beer a little bit. So there's like it's not entirely thin, but it's not like a thick beer, and so it's like somewhere in the middle is where it falls. All right, flavor wise, aroma wise, any other thoughts? All right, so I'll monologue it for a second, and then we'll get some feedback about like what people have been saying and what you guys think like about the beer. Okay, so this is another beer in our kind of experimental line, which uses ingredients that preferably have some kind of local terroir, but are always fresh and culinarily driven, and I hope interesting. So this is the beer that's following the Zatar Saison, which sold really well at first and then slowed way down, and then it took us a little while to turn over to the next one. So this is the next one. We've got a bunch of interesting ones behind this, so hopefully we don't see that slow down here. But yeah, this is like super experimental stuff. I think that you'd be hard pressed to find a beer that's very similar to this, maybe anywhere in the country. That might be a little, a lot of parallel thinking happens in this industry, but that's what you can expect like from this line. So yeah, my recommendation would be this goes to the adventurous drinkers. A great pairing beer, brown butter sage, typically used with like a sauce that's used with gnocchi. So like straight out of the Italian kitchen, and we've got a bunch of pizzas on the menu. We've got a bunch of Italian influence through chef on the menu. So I think that that's kind of the fun of this to me is like you can recommend this for a whole bunch of different dishes, and I'm sure that it'll be a one that will pair with specials recommended, a lot. All right, that's what I have to say on it. But, and I love beers that have been out for a little while before we do this because get to hear what's going on, what the feedback is in the tap room. So I'll open up the floor.
I've had good feedback.
Yeah.
People come back for 2, 3.
Oh, like pints?
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like I saw it more in flights than pints.
That's both of those are really interesting. I would expect to see it more in flights. I would think that this is more of a flight beer, but I am stoked if there are people who are like, this is good enough of a creation to have several pints of it. Dope. Love that. Look at that. Look at us. Okay. Is there like any kind of, do people ask questions about it? If they ask questions, what do they ask? Or is it very self-evident?
I've had somebody ask if it's really sweet.
What'd you tell them?
It's not. I usually tell them that it's not too much on the sweet side. Like the brown butter, I think that they think will be really sweet.
Yeah.
I think that there's a little bit there, but
Yeah, maybe like brown butter, maybe some connotation with brown sugar, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very dry beer, actually. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very interesting. Did not consider that, but that's really relevant.